Goodbye for now. Sweet dreams.
Masita cast one final look at the first island. Her heart swelled within her, as if she were trapped in a whirlpool. This island had been her birthplace, where it all began, and where her world first changed. While there wasn't a specific rule about coming here, it was not something the other gods and goddesses talked about. As far as she knew, none of the others, with the only exceptions possibly being Sudaiba and Ueda, ever returned. Lycos operated the rudder while Rin watched the horizon ahead. At the moment, it was Masita's turn to observe the sail.
So, you mentioned a swell that could carry us all the way home?
Yes, there are 2 powerful swells within the general oceanic territory of the Aoela. One in the east, and one in the west. We're going to catch a ride on the Great Eastern Swell. Again, I'm sorry I never told you about me.
No, it's okay. We both understand. Your origins don't matter. The important thing is that you've been a great best friend and a lover. So when are you two making me an aunt?
A wide smile smeared across Masita's face, but warm laughter poured from her like lava as Lycos' cheeks reddened.
Can we please change the subject? Actually, I do have a question. Masita, were you watching our family to find the perfect opportunity to repay our grandma?
Sort of. Until I became Rin's new friend 15 years ago, I had taken to watching your family from afar. Believe it or not, I was with your father when he went on his voyage attempt.
Wait, really? Like as a companion?
No, more like an extra guardian spirit. I used my chaos magic in secret to give him more luck. But even that didn't encourage him to keep with the voyage. He didn't know I was there, obviously, and well, to be honest, the voyage wasn't something he was meant to do, or even wanted to finish.
For the longest time, I looked down on him for not being like Grandma. But that was so wrong of me. Our father went on to do so many great things, 2 of which were raising us. Once we get back, I'm going to hug him so tightly.
He has lived a good life, but a safe and boring one. When you were born, Lycos, I was so excited to see what you might do. But then you wanted to be like your father. It's not a bad thing, but not something I could work with.
Masita tilted her head ever so slightly and smirked at her best friend.
And then you were born. As soon as I saw you, I knew you were going to be different. Not better, but unique in the way that you were going to approach the world. Just to make sure, I checked in on you for 5 years.
And the rest is history. I would have never been as prepared for the voyage had you not become my best friend. Thank you.
You always had greatness inside you. I simply encouraged you to embrace it. You would have gone on the voyage anyway and led a fulfilling life. But I absolutely love being your best friend. And you both mean the world to me.
Okay, enough of this mushy stuff. Lead the way to the swell. We might be behind again. Then again, if the storm was bad, we might be on time.
Right. Head west until you feel the beginning of a strong wind. Trust me, it's going to be intense.
Intense. Up till that point in her life, Rin had never really considered what that word really meant. It had been one of those fun descriptive words that added flavor to comments or remarks. Powerful winds blew from behind them, barreling into the sail with incredible force. The result was that the canoe zipped through the water at incredible speeds Rin had never before experienced. Lycos manned the rudder, but it was merely to maintain their straight course. Masita and Rin had secured the sail tightly, so it wouldn't deviate from the desired momentum. The great eastern swell kept on through the night, and before long, Mesita had instructed Rin and Lycos to veer out of the swell. And soon a small island came into view, with dozens of canoes floating in a massive lagoon. As they got closer, Rin saw the coral reef was abundant in the area, but there was an opening and avenue through which the other canoes had entered the lagoon. A pink, purple, and blue Siretasi, Rin's favorite Siretasi in fact, plopped onto the front of the canoe.
Hey! About time you made it! Most of the others arrived earlier, and so, once again, you made me a little worried.
Rin knelt down and collapsed into Alcuvo's waiting arms.
Sorry, we decided to take an alternate route to get around the storm. And well, it saved us on issues, but it was a little longer. How was your trip? No young Gondo?
No, he didn't come near us. There are plenty of my people's warriors ready to act if he did show up.
Rin placed her forehead against Alcuvo's and she smiled.
We have to check in and get our tattoos, but I want to spend some time with you later. If you tell me about your homeland, I'll tell you something interesting.
Deal. Listen, the storm was apparently even worse than the first one. There were many Voyagers who were lost. Just be prepared.
Even more lost? That's terrible. I hope that Isiba greets those lost with loving arms.
Oh, I'm sure she will. See you later.
Alcuvo grazed their fingers against Rin's cheek and then flipped backwards into the water. Lycos and Mesita got out of the ship and pushed it to the shore. The island itself had some trees on it, but it was quite small. Too small, in fact, to house a full tribe, or even a village. Rin, Lycos, and Mesita checked in with the servants of the Voyage, and moved toward their assigned tent. A large Valdo woman waved toward them.
Hey, little Shanado! I'm so happy to see that you made it! That was a brutal storm, right? But we're tougher than the wind!
Lycos waved toward the large woman, but someone else caught Rin's eye. Sitting on the beach with her knees up was none other than Guahana. As soon as their eyes met, Rin's longtime rival hopped to her feet, and she sprinted toward her. Tears were in her eyes, and her face was scrunched up. Rin opened her arms, and Guahana leapt into them.
My Zinaima, you're alive! I'm so glad to see you!
Oh, Guahana! I'm so glad to see you! Where are the others?
Oh, Rin, it was terrible. Everything was going well, and then the storm got so much worse. The waves got so high, and we banked on the wrong one. Our canoe flipped over, and then a gigantic wave crashed on top of us.
Oh no. I'm so sorry, Guahana.
A second wave hit us, and it destroyed our boat. I broke the surface and was saved by one of the Isiba Voyager teams by my friends. My never surfaced. I was waiting here, hoping that maybe one of them, or all of them, would show up. I thought I was the last one. I thought I was all alone.
I'm so sorry. It's okay. Just let it out.
Mesita walked closer to Guahana, and she placed a hand on her right shoulder. Then Lycos touched the front of her left shoulder. A stranger, probably from the Isiba tribe, rested a hand on one of her shoulder blades. The Valdo woman whom Lycos knew rested her hand beside Mesita's. Within moments, dozens of islanders from all over the Aoela Nation gathered around. When they could no longer touch Guahana, they rested hands on Rin, Lycos, and Mesita, and after that, they touched those behind them. All eyes were on Guahana, with the same kind expressions. She couldn't help it, and she smiled. Guahana gazed into Rin's eyes.
You are never alone. We are all connected together as one people, regardless of tribe. Beyond us, our Taudamonia, our guardian spirits, stand with you too. We all mourn the loss of those not with us. They will never be forgotten, and they will achieve the status of Great Navigator when we finish the voyage. For them, and for us.
Guahana rested her head on Rin's chest.
Thank you. This means so much.
Ride back with us. Me, Lycos, and Mesita, okay? We'll finish this voyage together and honor our people. Does that sound good?
Guahana simply nodded. Rin took in a deep breath. When Rin exhaled, she let out a loud scream, a battle cry to perhaps honor those who were lost. When she ran out of breath, she inhaled and yelled again. Lycos joined her on the second scream, and Mesita joined her on the third. On the fourth, everyone else did as well.
So are these bands supposed to be fish scales or Siretasi scales?
Rin and Alcuvo laid on the beach, cuddled in one another's arms. The sun was setting, and the dying light blanketed across the ocean with a vibrant orange hue. The latest tattoo was a fifth band, with a fish scale design all the way around.
Which do you want it to be?
In response, Rin gently kissed the Siretasi's forehead.
Does that answer your question?
Alcuvo pivoted around and then gently pressed their lips to Rin's. It was a short exchange, but a white-hot thrill danced up her spine. When they pulled back, Alcuvo hovered above Rin.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, that does.
Alcuvo laid back down and placed their head against Rin's chest.
So what is she really like? Tsuraiba, I mean. I've never seen her, but I have a crazy uncle who swears he's met the goddess on multiple occasions.
She was much taller than I would have imagined. Taller than even my brother Lycos. She has this fluid personality that goes from rage to amused playfulness, but she was mostly warm and inviting to us. After the whole thing happened that I can't talk about.
I understand. There are secrets our people keep too.
Really? Like what?
Alcuvo peeked up and their eyes sparkled wildly.
I'll tell you about those things when you tell me about what happened on the island. We can always tell each other one day. I hope there is a one day.
I want there to be. If you do.
I do. Tell me, Rin of the Shanado, how will this even work?
Rin ran one of her hands through Alcuvo's hair and gently massaged the Siretasi's scalp.
We'll find out as we go along. All I know is that I care about you more than I have anyone else. And I don't want anyone else in my life like that.
I feel the same way. So, tell me more about the Shanado tribe. What makes you all special and different than the other tribes?
Well, according to our legends and stories, the Shanado tribe sailed the furthest of any tribe, and they were blessed with 5 large and lush islands. I used to think my tribe had the largest population.
Oh, I doubt that. There are more great villages than there are above-water island tribes. But anyway, please continue.
Hardly anyone outside of our tribe knows this, but we actually have names for each of the islands. They are Oina, Kiihi, Mauyo, Miniyi, and Hauniwa. Hauniwa is the biggest island, and Lycos and I are from Oina.
Yeah, it's just like with Siretasi. Most of the above-water Aoela call us mer people. Mer people sounds ugly compared to Siretasi.
Yeah, I agree. The Shanado people are a very passionate tribe and we like to express ourselves through dance and song. In fact, I've heard that dancing is what my people are known for. So, where do you live again?
I live in one of the great villages near the island of Fanatu.
You mentioned great villages before. We Aoela sure do like using that word a lot. Great villages, great navigators, great Sudaiba. Don't get me wrong. All those things are great. So it's your turn. Tell me about the Siretasi.
Alcuvo nuzzled their head on Rin's chest and hugged her tighter. It was starting to get dark.
Long ago, before either of us were born, obviously, 6 tribes set out from the first island.
You remembered!
Yes. Anyway, 6 tribes set out from the first island, and like what happened to us, Ototala set forth raging storms to test all of us. Unfortunately, many were lost to the storm, and they sank below the surface of the sea, including an entire tribe. Sudaiba took pity on us and changed us. That's why our tattoo contribution and our people represent flexibility and adaptability.
Because you all had to adapt to survive? Not just because of Sudaiba's magic, but you all had to learn a new way to live, didn't you?
You're so smart, Ren. Yeah, my ancestors were saved. And we were given precious knowledge that you all don't have up here. Powerful secrets. Secrets like glass, magical brick making, and sun pearls.
Glass? What's that? And brick? I definitely want to know about sun pearls.
Glass is made from sand, although I'm not a glassmith, so I don't know exactly how it's made. But it's clear and solid. We use it for walls, windows, and other such decorations. Brick is made from clay, mud, and magic. Also used for construction of our buildings, huts, and such. As for sun pearls...
Alcuvo began making circles on Rin's bare stomach.
Imagine a pearl or glass sphere, only it glows with a bright light, almost like the sun. We have specially trained Siretasi who are sunsmiths, who are responsible for creating these sun pearls. To do so, they need to have studied glasscraft first. Some of the sunsmiths can change the colors of the light into all kinds of hues. It's so cool. I'm thinking about becoming a glassmith apprentice after all this.
Wow, that's so interesting. I know you'll be successful.
Thank you. Anyway, we have sun pearls in great villages to light the avenues, the homes, and even the chieftains' huts. Great villages are huge and often consist of thousands of huts, all spaced out so families have 20-foot spaces between them. If you saw a great village, you'd be surprised. They can stretch for miles and miles.
And the huts are made from... glass and brick?
Yes, and most huts have multiple rooms or alcoves for each member to have their own space. In terms of food, my people have underwater agriculture, and we hunt fish who swim by our villages. It would be like if you could fly and you hunted birds.
Oh, I can't even imagine what it would be like to fly. I wish I could see your village.
I wish you could too. Maybe I could build myself a glass and brick hut near the Shanado Islands, so I could see you.
That would be wonderful. I also have an interesting idea. Maybe I could join the servants of the Voyage one day and work under the preserver of the Voyage. That way, I could travel all over and see the world. With you, if you wanted. And maybe even set up a hut here one day. Or on Fanatu so I could be near you.
I'm so glad I met you.
I'm so glad I met you. How long does it take to become a sunsmith anyway? That is your dream, right?
It takes 5 years to move from apprentice to journey person, and then another 2 years to become a master glassmith. After that, if I am accepted to become a sunsmith apprentice, then it takes another 5 years to become a master.
Wow. 12 years, huh? then I have 12 years to become preserver of the Voyage. After all, I can't let my partner have all the fun.
Slowly, Alcuvo looked back up to Rin.
You really want to be my partner?
Yeah, I do. I care about you a lot, and I don't want to give myself to anyone else. I still want to take it slow, but I would like this to mean something. It does mean something, right?
Alcuvo answered her with a long kiss. It was a beautiful day for travel, especially because they were traveling home. Lycos sat on the beach along with the rest of the surviving Voyagers. Many of those who left the sacred island of New Beginnings had been lost, and yet here he sat. His eyes glanced down to the fish-scale band that marked his 5th tattoo. Lycos had never intended on going on the voyage, and yet here he was, a changed man. The whole experience had shaped him, molded him in different ways, and even gifted him with things he never actually thought possible. Images of the night before flashed in his mind's eye. Touches, kisses, warmth. Rin had decided to spend her time with the Siretasi, and so Lycos kept Mesita busy. Busy. His cheeks heated up like pools of lava, and yet he didn't mind. Lycos' attention snapped forward as one of the Siretasi, a male merperson, held up a strange staff. It looked to be made of a clear, solid substance that almost looked like rock. The headpiece was as bright as a small sun, yet it was pink instead of yellow. He was obviously a chieftain, as he wore this unique sort of crown made from coral, shells, and other such things. The Siretasi had bright orange hair, and even brighter orange scales on his body. Black stripes curved around his body, which was pleasing to the eye. He even had a bright orange beard, but no mustache. On his right arm was the completed Great Navigator tattoo. As soon as the crowd got quiet, the Siretasi chieftain spoke.
Once upon a time, the goddess Sudaiba saved our people from a watery doom. She bestowed upon us great boons, but she left the task of surviving to us. Before there were the great villages spanning the ocean floor, there was nothing but empty sand fields. Before there was a unified tribe, there was chaos and uncertainty. In order to get from one to the other, we, the Siretasi, had to adapt to our new environments. We had to be flexible with how we approached carving out our civilization. Relying on the same old approaches would have gotten us killed.
The Siretasi chieftain sighed, and he closed his eyes for a moment.
In life, you will encounter many more storms, sharks, and loss. These are inevitable, and for you to reach the end of this journey, and whatever destiny you choose for yourself, you must be prepared to adapt. Even if you think you know the route you must take, you may find the universe has other plans. We did not intend to become Siretasi when we left the first island. It happened. We adapted. We survived. We thrive.
The chieftain waved the staff in front of him, as if blessing the Voyagers.
Though you are almost done with this voyage, there will be others. Some of them will be more concealed amidst the tedium of life. Others will be so overt they threaten to shatter your lives if you neglect them. There will be voyagers, but you are voyagers, and soon you shall be great navigators. Do not be overcome with rigid thinking. Adapt, survive, thrive. May you all have safe journeys to the Shenandoah Islands, and and even safer journeys toward your destinies.
Other Voyagers got to their feet and they started moving toward the canoes. Lycos remained seated, and he let his eyes go unfocused. He smiled widely. He had not intended on coming on this voyage. It happened. He adapted. He survived up till this point. And when it was all over, he would thrive.
Lycos, are you ready?
Lycos glanced up to see Rin standing over him, her hand extended down for him. Masita was right beside his sister, and Guahana beside her. They all grinned at him, and beamed patient stares. He nodded, and then took Rin's hand.